Halloween time is finally here, so it only means a couple of things. Makeup, costumes, candy, and a Halloween illustration. Let's get into it. I actually already did some sketches of the first concepts that popped up in my mind when it comes to this year's Halloween illustration, and as you can tell, I was thinking of drawing a dressed up couple. In my mind, they would probably be vampires, as you can see on the picture, but they would also fit any of the Halloween costumes, really. But even though I think that these sketches are both quite cool, I'm not really feeling any of these, and I kind of don't want to turn them into real illustrations. So I think that the best thing I can do right now is to take a little bit more time and sketch some more concepts for the illustration and come up with something that I would actually really truly like. And right off the bat, I'm thinking that it would be really cool to illustrate girls in most popular costumes, like a zombie, vampire, and so on. It might not be the most original idea out there, but this will give me an option to experiment with some colors that I rarely use, like greens or purples, and I would also have a chance to draw some of the extraordinary things and details that I almost never draw. So first things first, a zombie girl or like a Frankenstein girl, something along those lines. I like the idea of her having the bones stuck through her head and some stitching all over her face. I would most likely make her skin green and her hair purple to give that Frankenstein vibe. Next, vampire girl. I want to draw her from profile view so she can look more sophisticated, elegant, and mysterious, and I really want her to look like she's licking the poisoned blood from her fingers to give that really spooky effect. And well, honestly, I like both of these ideas. I think they look pretty interesting, and I would probably add one more girl to make it like a group of girls. But I also feel like I don't think this is the best idea that I can come up with. So what I'm gonna do now is I think that I'm not gonna stress myself. I'm gonna take some time off and browse through Pinterest to look for some more inspiration, and let's just hope that I'm gonna come back with my head full of inspiration, ready to create something. So finally, after a little bit of struggle, I found a route that I really want to follow today. The idea of dressing up as a cheerleader caught my eye so much that I really couldn't let go of this concept. So, well, you guys guessed it, today we're gonna be drawing a creepy Halloweeny cheerleader. First, like always, I like to sketch out the general idea for the drawing and see, for example, if the pose that I have in my mind looks as good on the paper, and just plan the composition, the hair, and the outfit. And I can honestly tell that as opposed to the previous sketches that I really wasn't sure about, this one was totally different, and this one made me feel like it's the right one for the Halloween. So now I'm taking my most favorite sketchbook, it's the SMLT Bristol sketchpad. I'm actually running out of space in this one, so I'm gonna need to buy a new one ASAP. Alright, so let me just quickly transfer this sketch onto this paper, and then we'll go straight into coloring. And well, honestly, I was really surprised that coming up with the ideas for this year's Halloween drawing was such a struggle for me. And I think that might be because of the pressure that I generated in my head that this drawing must be something extraordinary, it must be special because it's only once a year. And since I'm also not drawing those kind of costumes and spooky things in general throughout the whole year, that made me feel like I really need to come up with something extraordinary to make it feel like I made the Halloween challenge work and I did my best to come up with the best possible drawing idea. And I really don't think that's a good way to approach any kind of drawing, because if you put too much pressure on yourself, you end up being stuck in this kind of thinking, and you will probably end up not finding any kind of joy in creating this drawing, because you would probably feel so much weight on your shoulders that any idea you will come up with, you will feel like it's not good enough, so you will end up being frustrated. And that is what drawing should not be about, like totally not. So even though I found it really challenging this time to come up with some good ideas for this drawing, I can take it as a lesson for future drawings that I shouldn't stress myself that much. I should rather think of it as a fun experiment and my kind of time to play around with colors, play around with things that I usually don't draw, and that should be my main goal when drawing, and not trying to pressure myself to do the best artwork of my lifetime. Anyway, now the sketch is finally complete, and to be honest with you, I love how it turned out. At this point, I'm really happy with this illustration, so I hope I'm not gonna mess it up with the colors. And speaking of colors, we're moving on to the coloring. So the color scheme I initially planned for this drawing consisted of those typical Halloween colors like orange, purple, green, and of course a little bit of black and red. And even though I really wanted to use these colors, as I don't use them that often in my regular illustrations, I'm thinking that this might not really work. I know that her cheerleader costume is almost perfect to put on it any possible color combination that I want, and I could obviously use those colors that I just mentioned, but I kind of feel like I won't like it that much. And since she's having black hair, which was my initial plan, I'm thinking that maybe the colors of like a vampire would fit her a little bit better. But besides the color scheme, my main priority for this drawing is to make it as spooky as I can. Because cheerleader costume, let's be honest, it's not really anything that scary as Halloween costumes can be. So I would really need to play around with proper colors and proper details to make this drawing really fit the Halloween vibe. And well, I still want to try to keep this drawing quite PG and safe, since I really don't want to have any troubles with YouTube, so there's not gonna be blood splatters everywhere and some really scary stuff. But besides that, I will still try to do my best to make this Halloween drawing as spooky and scary as I can. and that's my finished Halloween illustration. And well, what do you guys think? I'm really curious to hear your opinions because honestly, personally, I totally love how this one turned out, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't follow any of my initial ideas and I ended up drawing this creepy cheerleader, because for me it just looks how I really wanted a Halloween illustration to look like, and I'm just so happy with it. So yeah, I'm awaiting your guys' opinions, and I really hope you enjoyed my today's video. And well, tell me if you are participating in Halloween, what are you dressing up as? And well, that's enough of rambling for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you all being here. And well, yeah, that will be all. So happy Halloween everyone, and I'll be seeing you in my next videos. Take care, bye!
I'm just going with the gut, never had a doubt, felt like this is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for us now.